Are moral values still relevant in 2025? Do we really need moral values to live our lives? Is that really a necessity anymore? Do we really need that? Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to take a serious coffee break because I can already see so many answers to that questions. So take your coffee or your hot chocolate or your tea or your juice if it's hot, and let's sit down and think about this and talk about this. So, why is this even a question? Should we have moral values? What is it doing for us? Well, let's think about it. Our moral values influences our decisions that we make. It influences the choices that we make. And what we do with those decisions and choices have an impact not only on us, but on the people around us and even on the world. Because if we all decide to throw a moral value system out of the window, then we sit with what we have now. Because I've realized that what we have now is a world that is floundering, that has no moral compass to help them keep their true north. So let's talk about this. And I've sat down and I've thought about it because I have to talk about or from my experience, because this is my point of view. And I've thought about this. I've thought about what is the values that I live by, that helps me make my choices. And then I've realized there are 10 core values, moral values that is important. And I'm going to break it into two parts. I'm going to talk about 5 core moral values that is more focused to other people, towards the world, towards getting something changed in terms of how we treat other people. That's the outside morals, if I can say it like that. Although that is also part of your belief system, it needs to be, because that is what you're going to use to treat other people. And when I look at this, I think about honesty, I think about respect, I think about responsibility, compassion, and fairness. Those are the core values. If I think about respect, you have to respect other people. We have to have respect for the law, for the people that is in charge, but also the people that are not that important, because the way we treat them, if we treat them with respect, then obviously it's going to make them feel different as well. But it will also make you feel as if you've done something right. Treat everyone with respect. Then the next one, the second one is honesty. Honesty is being true, speaking the truth, whether it's difficult or whether it's uncomfortable, doesn't matter. If you are true to the truth by being honest, it leads to trust. The moment you start playing fast and loose with the truth, that is when you lose the confidence in yourself, because now you have to have a very good memory, but also you lose the trust of people. And that is something that's not easy to find again. Then a responsibility, because both of these two leads down to responsibility. You have to take responsibility for your actions. You have to take responsibility to follow the law or the rules. And you also have responsibility towards your community to help build them out, to help care for them. But you have to take responsibility. Number 4 is compassion. Now, compassion is a difficult one, and I think sometimes we find it difficult to do. Compassion is a deep understanding of someone else's pain and their situation or the situation they find themselves in, and to understand and not to judge. And I think that is a huge problem that we have. We are less compassionate and more judgeful of other people because we don't really look at their situation, at their pain, at how it affects their lives. And it doesn't cost us anything to be compassionate. But eventually it will enrich your life because you look outwards to other people and you learn from that. And maybe someday you will find yourself in the same situation and then you will really understand. And then it would be fantastic if someone shows you the compassion that you have shown to someone else. And then the last one, I think that is very important, is to treat people with fairness. Being fair. When you treat everyone with the same value system, then it makes it easy. You cannot be fair if you have favorites. You cannot be fair if you treat one group of people different than another group of people. So fairness means treating everyone equal. And that is something that is a buzzword today, is this equality and stuff like that. But then there's a very unequal society that we live in. And these 5 core values, that is about how you treat other people, is also based inwards. But let's look at the other 5 core values. So the next 5 values that I want to quickly talk about is, or seriously talk about, is the 5, I would say, inner core values. Those morals that, if they are lacking, you are going to find yourself somewhere along the line in deep trouble. And the first one is integrity. And it goes with respect, responsibility, with fairness, with compassion. Compassion is, I think, something that we are sorely lacking in this world at the moment because we don't feel for someone else. So integrity goes along with all of these values because if you are not true to your value system, if you don't think that lying is wrong, or that you don't need to take responsibility for anything, no accountability, because why? It's never been a thing now. That is one of the biggest problems I think that we experience in this world, this modern society of ours, that no one wants to take accountability. No one is held to accountability. Because it means that you have to take a look at yourself and realize that you have thrown all of your values out for what? A bunch of hot air. So being accountable, having integrity means that you are honest, that you respect other people, even if their opinions does not gel with yours. And that you keep to your value system, that you are true to yourself, to that moral values that you hold dear. Then number 2 is humility. Now, humility is something that some people struggle with. Humility does not mean being a doormat. That is not humility. Humility means that I am sure of who and what I am. And therefore, I don't need to have to go and boast about something. I don't need to. I know who and what I am. Um, and yes, you can achieve wonderful things and you may be proud of it. It does not mean that you are not supposed to be proud of any accomplishments. It does not mean that. It means that in that pride in my accomplishments, I'm also humble because I know it was not only me, but there were people helping me. There were others involved in me being successful. And therefore, I need to be humble and realize how lucky I am, how fortunate. Let me put it that way, because it's not luck. It is how fortunate you are in the support system you have, the people that helped you to achieve your dreams. So being humble also means that you are prepared to learn constantly and not feel that you are, oh, no one can teach me anything. As a teacher, I've learned that I can learn every day from a student. Sometimes they astounded me with the wisdom that they have, or the way that they came from another angle at a certain problem. And I thought, wow, that's even a better answer. And it didn't take anything away from me to acknowledge that and to learn from that. And that is humility that I think a lot of us have forgotten about. Then gratitude. Oh my word. Being thankful. Being thankful for whatever is put on our plate. And not always yearn for something else and feel left out or this is not good enough. Be thankful for what you have. Gratitude is to be thankful for what you have because it is enough. You don't need an extra pair of shoes. You already have 5. It's just that we have to show the gratitude towards what we have, even though it's maybe not what we wanted. But we always have to think about, do I want it or do I need it? There's a difference between the two. Number 4 is perseverance. Perseverance is keep on going on. It is pushing through the difficult times. If you have that grit inside of yourself that tells you, I can carry on. Yeah, it's difficult. It's an uphill battle. But if I eventually reach the top, I mean, what view will you have from there? So keep on going on. Eventually, you will reach your destination or your goal. Number 5, and I think this is a big one, and this is the one that we struggle with, forgiveness. You have to forgive the people that you are angry with, that you felt were unfair towards you or did something to you that was really bad. Forgive them. Why? So that they can feel better? No. It's got nothing to do with them. It's got to do with you, with having that lightness in your soul instead of the darkness of anger and hate or resentment. So forgiveness is setting yourself free. Forgiving other people is setting yourself free. Think about this. Right, these moral values, it forms a system that forms you, shapes you into the person that you become. And it is something that we learn or gather throughout our lives. It is dynamic. You don't get born with a set of moral values. You start learning them, taking them as your own as you progress through life. But if you use these moral values and you have a good, solid system, then it shapes your decisions and your choices. and it helps you to make good choices. And your moral values is something that you stand on that helps you. And I want you to realize this. A good moral value system helps you in your decision making, your choices, and eventually shapes you into you that can influence the world. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. I do hope that I've given you something to think about. Discuss it with other people. And if you like this video and the content, please like, share, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you think about it, or if there's another topic that we need to discuss over a coffee break.